All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people just like you and just like me. All right, before I get going, going to be talking about this amazing version of Money that was released by Roger Waters. Yeah, okay. Before I get there, Pinnacle Point, baby. Symphony of Mind. Symphony of Mind. The great Jerome Mazza on lead vocals. And the great Torben Enevoldsen on guitar. And an all-star cast of great musicians. This is probably one of my favorite current melodic rock groups. And Jerome Mazza could sing for Kansas. Kansas wanted to, I don't know, kind of up their game. They would call Jerome, and he would be in the band. All right, I've been saying that for a couple of years. Jerome Mazza, absolutely amazing. Symphony of Mind, go check this out. It's progressive, it's melodic. The songs are rich, they're powerful. From start to finish, it's just a masterpiece. Symphony of Mind, Jerome Mazza, and Pinnacle Point. Just a great album. Okay, now we go from great to not so great. Before we go there, don't forget about Modern Retro Radio, modernretrofm.com. A great radio station, and I'm not sure they're going to play the new version of Money by Roger Waters. I would advise them not to play it, but they might play it because it fits the template. You go and listen to it. You be your own judge on this. I defend Roger Waters on some of the politics because he gets a bad rap because he wants human rights for certain groups of people. He doesn't see geopolitics the way most of the establishment sees it. He's going in the opposite direction. I tend to follow people like that. However, I'm really not sure why he redid Dark Side of the Moon. And he dropped Money, which, of course, is one of the most famous tracks from Dark Side of the Moon. Look, the reason this is happening is the remaining members of this band, Nick Mason, David Gilmour, Roger Waters, they don't get along. At least Roger and David don't get along. Nick Mason would reunite with these guys at the drop of a hat. And it's the 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon. And this is about as much of a tribute or celebration as we're going to get. Waters talks about that it's a reinterpretation. It sure is. It reminds me of some death dirge in the back of a smokey jazz club where there's a lot of bass and there's not much else going on. And you hear some guy doing some spoken word poetry over the music. Or maybe it's not poetry. Maybe it's just disconnected thoughts about different topics. If you're Roger Waters, of course, you know exactly what it means. But everybody else, of course, it's all up for interpretation. I just don't understand. I get the politics of what he does. I just don't think this was a good idea. The album is too good to tamper with. And here we are, tampering. And he says, look, you know, these can coexist side by side. And you have the old version, which, of course, more or less is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, rock album of all time from start to finish. And then you've got this, all right? And there's no reason to do this. There's just no reason. Now, if you wanted to get together with Dave and Nick and do a concert to honor Dark Side of the Moon, play it in its entirety from start to finish, I'm thinking that would be a great idea. You know, I think Gilmour is retired, or at least he said, hey, hey, whatever, rise up, whatever that song was that he did for Ukraine with Ukrainian musicians. That was going to be the last Pink Floyd song ever, which is not a good way to go out. So now we've got Roger Waters. I would say this, though. Of the two things, I would say the Waters thing, even though I think it's really bad, is probably better than making Pink Floyd into a vehicle to promote another country's musicians. And of course, the cause is, look, it's the battle of politics, I guess. Waters has his views, so he's going to find a way to work those into his new interpretation of Dark Side of the Moon, whereas Gilmour is making a statement trying to fundraise for certain groups of people in Ukraine. The whole thing is a mess. I wish these guys would just get together and perform the album from start to finish. Nick Mason, I think, would be very happy to be a part of that, and there would be fans willing to buy tickets, I'm pretty sure, to see Gilmour and Roger Waters together again. I know these guys don't like one another. Dave's wife, Polly, I guess, is always fighting too on social media and saying stuff about Roger Waters. So, you know, more acrimony with guys who probably at this point should just bury the hatchet and try to satisfy what's left of their fan base. Again, another band that is ebbing away. But yes, you can go see Roger Waters, and Roger reluctantly will play some Pink Floyd material the proper way, although who knows, he might bring these versions out on the road. So you've really got to be into both the political end of things and the new interpretation end of things to really enjoy a concert with Roger Waters. Otherwise, folks, I would encourage you to go see Brit Floyd. Okay, that's what I would tell you to do. Brit Floyd is amazing. The light show is terrific. There's still some political stuff that goes on, but it is mostly lighthearted, you know, like on screen it says, should you trust the government, which is one of the lines, I believe, from Mother, and everybody in the audience yells, no. So we're all on board with that, regardless of where our political views are. So anyway, folks, the Roger Waters money, it's a big fat thumbs down, all right? So on that note, let me try to end on a more positive note. Here is Pinnacle Point and their album Symphony of Mind. If you like progressive and thoughtful and melodic and well-produced music, I can't think of a better album in my collection than this one right here. When I put this on, I go, this is what Kansas should sound like these days. Kansas has tried to recapture some of their older progressive roots, which I think is good, but some of the music suffers for a number of reasons, the newer material. It's good. It's still better than a lot of stuff that's out there. But the band, if they had Jerome in the band, Jerome Mazza, holy crap, Batman, that would be a revival. People would be flocking to see that because Jerome Mazza is more or less the rightful heir to the Steve Walsh era of Kansas. And a lot of people have forgotten about Steve Walsh, but Steve was one of the greatest rock vocals or vocalists of all time. Period. Exclamation point, whatever. Carry On Wayward Son, Dust in the Wind, all of the Steve Walsh material. Nobody sang like Steve, even to the very end when his voice was aging a lot, but he was still hitting every note, still singing everything in the original key. And you get that with Jerome Mazza, but you also get, you know, a fresher, vibrant vocal, which is very close to Steve's in both the way he phrases and just his understanding of the music. So in any event, yeah, check out Pinnacle Point. And check out the new Roger Waters interpretation of Money. And then go listen to Pinnacle Point. If you need to cleanse the palate, that's what you have to do. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I need subscribers. I need viewers. I need likes. I need it all. So I know I'm getting ratioed or whatever it's called. Not ratioed, but throttled down. Some people would call it shadow banning. Rarely do my videos get into a recommended list of videos on any topic. So I need people to be faithful and come back and try to watch the videos, even if it's not a topic that interests you. If you can support the channel that way, I think it would be very helpful. All right, people, I'm definitely done. See you soon.